Now, I like reading. Yeah, I know, call me a witch, call me a bitch, call me a goddamn panuclo. But there is just something about reading that you can't get out of TV. Like that moment where you finish the last page of that book that you've been reading for 2 months.
Your aunt and uncle will be proud, won't they, when they hear what you did this year?
Proud? Are you mad? All those times I could have died and I didn't manage it. They'll be furious. And together they walked back through the gateway to the Muggle world. Amazing, absolute cinema. Oh wait, no, this is a book. Wait, what's the book version of cinema? Oh, come on! I feel like we're kind of ungrateful for books just existing because most of the really good movies are based on books. Like, here's a little thought experiment for you. Guess which of these movies isn't based on a book?
Shut up, Grandma!
Okay, it's a trick question. They're all based on books. And on top of that, when you're reading a book, you can just come up with all the visuals on your own, with your own unique flair to them. But then you go and watch the movie, and apparently absolutely every part of that is wrong, and it almost never matches your visions exactly. Not to mention that when you're reading a book, it feels like it's just taking so long, but then you read the movie, and it's just getting blown through faster than this year. So I guess in that respect, books are better than movies. But anyway, why do people hate books that much? Well, I'm pretty sure the only reason people actually hate books is because of English classes. Because anything can be fun, so long as you choose to do it of your own accord. If you're told to do it, then you have to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be put in detention. And if you leave detention, this isn't Spider-Man No Way Home, you just get another more long detention. And even if I still wanted to read the book they had on store for us, which is super unlikely, I'd now have to deal with all the noise and chaos of the average English classroom. There's absolute silence and complete concentration. And yeah, you're not going to get that in a high school. And it's especially hard to swallow because this is what the classroom looks like, like 6 months into the year. It's an absolute war zone, everything's destroyed. When this is how the classroom looks hardly a month earlier, everything's nice and we're meeting new people. Everything seems like it's going alright. But then one kid decides to test the teacher's patience, and which in most cases is tragically short. I have had classes where people are doing the gritty on top of their desks and all those Minecraft emotes and Fortnite dances and such. So we all get yelled at, we get sent to the office, and now no one likes the teacher anymore. Not to mention how the books we're reading have kind of gotten a bit more low quality. I mean, my sisters were reading Coraline, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, The Diary of Anne Frank. I was reading Tuck Everlasting, and as much as I wish we could have been reading something a bit more interesting, deep in my heart, I think that book was kind of good and sad. So much so that probably half this video is just going to be talking about the book. But if you don't want to see any of that, skip to here.
So there's this little girl, Winnie. She's from a rich family, overbearing parents. She is lonely because she's been kept away from school and other stuff all her life. One day she's just talking to a frog because she's that lonely, and then she gets mad that it can't talk back to her. And so later that night she sees this weird guy approaching wearing a tall yellow suit, and he's like, wow, these fireflies don't live long for that long, don't they? And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And then the mum comes out and says, go away. And he says, okay. And then the next day she gets sad that she can't have any friends and she has no one to talk to, blah, blah, blah. She runs out into the woods, and then she finds this well to drink from, and she's like, and it's the middle of summer so she's like, oh, I'm like, all right, better drink this. But then this guy shows up out of nowhere and says, no, don't drink it. It's blah, 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 blah. He just throws out a bunch of excuses at her, and so he's about to drink it. But then his whole family shows up and tackles her and takes her back to this cabin in the woods. Great movie. And so then they explain to her that the water she was about to drink makes her immortal and she will never age again. And their whole family was suspicious of them and they got identity fraud, blah blah blah. It's not about you, bro. So then this guy shows up, that businessman in the yellow suit, because apparently he wants to find the water, bottle it and sell it to people, because who doesn't want to grow, because who doesn't want to be immortal? But of course, being immortal comes with its drawbacks. So they kill him, just as the police officer that's coming after him is crossing around the corner and he sees it, and then they're about to get killed, and she's returned to the family, but then she just sneaks out and releases them from the prison, and then it cuts to 15 years later. It's because the guy she fell in love with is going out to because one of the sons of the family fell in love with her, and so she gave her the bottle of the immortal juice and told her to drink it when she turned 17, because then he'd be the same age as her, and they could, fall in love, blah blah blah. And when was this movie made? Now, I actually thought, but no, she didn't drink the juice. She didn't want to be immortal, and she died. And that's where it ends.
Not to mention that whoever named English class has got to be the biggest scammer on the planet, because we're not learning English, we're just writing book reports. And when you try actually doing good in English once you realise what it's really about, then it's a whole new world of hurt, because literally every other class is meant to destroy your creativity and just teach you to remember answers, but this is the one class where you can't remember answers, because there are none. You have to make up your own answers based on how creative you are. There's only model answers for reference, which I'm 95% sure are all written by ChatGPT, so a real good example you're setting. And the teacher's always running up and down the aisles going, okay, remember people, there is no wrong answer. Okay, then why did you give me a D minus? Care to explain yourself? In conclusion, don't hate books, hate English classes.